Temperature of Love, Ep 9 Part 2 Inches. Hong-ah is working late with fellow assistant writer Kyung, who offers her ramen. Kyung complains that Hong-ah never cooks, calling her rich and spoiled, but Hong-ah sighs that in the end, they are both lowly assistant writers, thinking herself more pathetic since she had more advantages to begin with. Hyun-jin calls and asks if she's Hyun-soo's assistant writer, and says they need to talk. The first course is served at good soup, and Hyun-soo stiffens when Jung-woo asks the waitress to send out Jung-sun. As they eat, Jung-woo says that in the 5 years he's known her, Hyun-soo hasn't changed. She's always happy even at rock bottom. She points out that she has to live. She looks uncomfortable again when Jung-sun joins them, carefully avoiding looking at him while he and Jung-woo talk. She does say the food is delicious, then she grumbles when he responds in Jeondae, prompting him to quip, "You started it," exactly the way he did when she first objected to his using banmal. Once Jung-sun goes back to the kitchen, Jung-woo tries to talk to Hyun-soo about work, but she politely refuses to discuss anything other than her script. Jung-woo reminds her that there's more to writing than just writing, but he adds that if she signs a lifetime contract with him, she won't need to learn the business side of things because he'll take care of all that. Hong-ah meets with Hyun-jin on the roof where he shows her Hyun-soo's script listing her as an assistant writer, and she begs him not to tell Jung-sun. Hyun-jin wants to know why she acted as if she never sees Hyun-soo, and why she made it sound as if Hyun-soo is getting married. Hong-ah insists defensively that she didn't hurt anyone, but Hyun-jin says he's going to tell Jung-sun, out of respect for the way he and Hyun-soo used to feel for each other. Desperate, Hong-ah yells, "I was embarrassed." She tears up as she says that she failed at every writing contest she entered, so Hyun-soo offered her the assistant job, hoping that it would help if Hong-ah saw the process of making a drama. She asks tearfully how she was supposed to tell the man she wants that she's a servant for the woman he used to love. Hyun-jin looks crushed at that. Deeply disappointed, he turns and walks away from Hong-ah. She asks him to please pretend he doesn't know, shamelessly reminding him, "You're a fool for me." During dinner, Jung-woo gets a call from Jun-ha, who's with Kyung. He tells Jung-woo that director Minutes asked him to join the crew of Hyun-soo's drama, which Jung-woo sees as a good thing since she could use the support. But then Jun-ha reveals that director Minutes has brought on another writer, and he asks Jung-woo not to tell Hyun-soo yet. At the end of the night, one of the cooks, Kyung-soo, wins a bet with the other cook, Ha-sung, when Mapney Minutes Ho finishes off the work week without quitting. Minutes Ho snags the money and tries to run, crashing into Hong-ah on her way into the kitchen with food for the whole crew. Hyun-jin watches Hong-ah warily as she passes out the food and fails to flirt with Jung-sun. He doesn't say anything though, as she asks Jung-sun for a favor. Jung-woo offers Hyun-soo a ride home, but she says she'd rather walk. He trails her in his car, asking her to be less formal and call him Appa. She edgios it at him, making him grin and tell her never to do that again. Jung-sun grants Hong-ah's wish for some of his specialty blend to help her sleep, and she follows him into his apartment uninvited. She complains that Jung-sun isn't nice to her, making him laugh as he hands over the tea. He mentions that he saw Hyun-soo and asks why Hong-ah never talks about her anymore, wondering if they are no longer close. Hong-ah says they don't have the kind of relationship where things like close or not close matter, because they're on the same path. Jung-woo follows Hyun-soo on foot as she walks, and she takes him to the corner where she once discovered a pretty flower growing out of the wall. It's still there now, and she's just as captivated by it as before. She tells Jung-woo that the flower is a fighter, saying that she sees it here every year, asking her, "Are you living well just like me?" She tells it, "Yes, I'm alive." She makes the distinction between living and alive, preferring the latter. Jung-woo leans one hand on the wall as he asks if that's how she's stayed so positive, reminding her of the time when Jung-sun did the exact same thing. Jung-woo snaps her out of her memories when he asks if he isn't pretty awesome, staying so nice in front of the woman he confessed to 5 years ago. She thanks him, and he asks if she's thanking him for giving up his feelings, saying that it's too soon for that. Hyun-soo says she's thanking him for seeing her talent and trusting her, but Jung-woo complains that she's drawing a line between them again. He asks when she's going to stop, saying that he likes her as a woman, not a writer. He jokes that all writers are crazy, and Hyun-soo jokes back that she's crazy too. Jung-woo leans in very close and says he didn't know that, but when she leans away, he just grins and backs up again. Hyun-soo asks him what Junha said, so Jung-woo reluctantly tells her that the director brought in another writer. When her face falls, he asks her to stay lively like her flower, but Hyun-soo responds, "It's too difficult."